There are two motives for reading a book: one, that you enjoy it; the other, that you can boast about it. Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric. Of all forms of caution, caution in love is perhaps the most fatal to true happiness. The fundamental cause of the trouble is that in the modern world the stupid are cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt. To fear love is to fear life, and those who fear life are already 3 parts dead. I would never die for my beliefs because I might be wrong. A stupid man's report of what a clever man says can never be accurate, because he unconsciously translates what he hears into something he can understand. And if there were a God, I think it very unlikely that he would have such an uneasy vanity as to be offended by those who doubt his existence. 3 passions, simple but overwhelmingly strong, have governed my life: the longing for love, the search for knowledge, and unbearable pity for the suffering of mankind. In all affairs it's a healthy thing now and then to hang a question mark on the things you have long taken for granted. Our great democracies still tend to think that a stupid man is more likely to be honest than a clever man, and our politicians take advantage of this prejudice by pretending to be even more stupid than nature made them. One of the symptoms of an approaching nervous breakdown is the belief that one's work is terribly important. Fear is the main source of superstition, and one of the main sources of cruelty. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom. The hardest thing to learn in life is which bridge to cross and which to burn. It's easy to fall in love. The hard part is finding someone to catch you. To teach how to live without certainty, and yet without being paralyzed by hesitation, is perhaps the chief thing that philosophy, in our age, can still do for those who study it. Most people would sooner die than think; in fact, they do so. It is the preoccupation with possessions, more than anything else, that prevents us from living freely and nobly. Those who have never known the deep intimacy and the intense companionship of happy mutual love have missed the best thing that life has to give. Collective fear stimulates herd instinct, and tends to produce ferocity toward those who are not regarded as members of the herd. We know very little, and yet it is astonishing that we know so much, and still more astonishing that so little knowledge can give us so much power. No one gossips about other people's secret virtues. It has been said that man is a rational animal. All my life I have been searching for evidence which could support this. The secret of happiness is to face the fact that the world is horrible, horrible, horrible. The fact that an opinion has been widely held is no evidence whatever that it is not utterly absurd. Indeed, in view of the silliness of the majority of mankind, a widely spread belief is more likely to be foolish than sensible. One of the painful things about our time is that those who feel certainty are stupid, and those with any imagination and understanding are filled with doubt and indecision. Patriots always talk of dying for their country but never of killing for their country. The infliction of cruelty with a good conscience is a delight to moralists. That is why they invented hell. So far as I can remember, there is not one word in the Gospels in praise of intelligence. Neither a man nor a crowd or a nation can be trusted to act humanely or to think sanely under the influence of a great fear. Not to be absolutely certain is, I think, one of the essential things in rationality. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. If there were in the world today any large number of people who desired their own happiness more than they desired the unhappiness of others, we could have paradise in a few years. I believe in using words, not fists. I believe in my outrage knowing people are living in boxes on the street. I believe in honesty. I believe in a good time. I believe in good food. I believe in sex. The secret of happiness is this: let your interest be as wide as possible and let your reactions to the things and persons who interest you be as far as possible friendly rather than hostile. Everything is vague to a degree you do not realize till you have tried to make it precise. The greatest challenge to any thinker is stating the problem in a way that will allow a solution. When considering marriage, one should ask oneself this question: will I be able to talk with this person into old age? Everything else is transitory, the most time is spent in conversation. The good life is inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Anything you're good at contributes to happiness. To be without some of the things you want is an indispensable part of happiness. I think we ought always to entertain our opinions with some measure of doubt. I shouldn't wish people dogmatically to believe any philosophy, not even mine. What is wanted is not the will to believe, but the will to find out, which is the exact opposite. Advocates of capitalism are very apt to appeal to the sacred principles of liberty, which are embodied in one maxim: the fortunate must not be restrained in the exercise of tyranny over the unfortunate. Science can teach us, and I think our hearts can teach us, no longer to look around for imaginary supporters, no longer to invent allies in the sky, but rather to look to our own efforts here below to make the world a fit place to live. Remember your humanity, and forget the rest. Dogmatism is the greatest of mental obstacles to human happiness. To like many people spontaneously and without effort is perhaps the greatest of all sources of personal happiness. Man is a credulous animal, and must believe something. In the absence of good grounds for belief, he will be satisfied with bad ones. Love can flourish only as long as it is free and spontaneous. It tends to be killed by the thought of duty. To say that it is your duty to love so-and-so is the surest way to cause you to hate him or her. Almost everything that distinguishes the modern world from earlier centuries is attributable to science, which achieved its most spectacular triumphs in the 17th century. Life is nothing but a competition to be the criminal rather than the victim. Your writing is never as good as you hoped, but never as bad as you feared. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe.